Welcome YouTube. This is not going to be a long video. As a matter of fact, I'm going to film this all on my cell phone, so I'm just going to punch in and punch out and kind of show you just like step by step. I'm not going to put the GoPro on my head this time because I think people have changed their spark plugs before, but I'm going to do this, so I thought I might as well make a kind of a short video. Get these AC Delco Iridium spark plugs, and I'm going to change my spark plugs out. I've only ever changed them once. Had my truck now, it's got 130,000 miles on it, and I've changed the spark plugs once. So I thought I'd be due for another spark plug change. So I got these fancy ones, and I'm going to get to that. The first thing I did here is I jacked up my truck. And there's a specific reason why I did that. Whoa. So anyway, as I was saying, the reason I took going through the the wheel well here is there's my spark plugs right there. There's one, two, 3. So they're easier to get to from under here, so that's what I'm going to do. Just pull the boots off and take them out, change them one by one. Okay, so move these up a bit here. I got the first one out. I didn't think I'd replace these with Iridium, but they have the same part number. They don't look the same, as you can see closely there, that this one here, where is it? This one here seems to have a little bit bigger electrode than that one there. I like to put a little bit of anti-seize on this side, and then I'm going to put some grease on this side so the boot will slide in and off. So I'll smear it on up and get it back in there. Oh, get yourself a nice cold beverage, kick back, enjoy the show. I wanted to show you just how much easier this is. See, there's going through the firewall, going through the wheel well. If I can get that in there. It's really easy. It's much better than trying to get it from above. And there's the other one right there I've already done. That one. Had to tear this splash guard. I just replaced that. And I have to get new ones. They were $10. The factory ones lasted almost 20 years, and those didn't even last a year, maybe 2. So there we have it. That one's out. So we'll go ahead and do the procedure on this one and put some anti-seize on the new one, a little bit of dielectric grease on the other side, and pop it back in. See, on this side I have the, I don't know if you can see that, I've got the, hard to see, but I've got a polyurethane mount on this side on the engine, so I've got the other one, thinking about doing that too, but we'll see. For now I'm just trying to get to the plugs, which you can see is right there and up in there. Another thing I wanted to point out that I've done is this U-joint on my steering shaft. I replaced the rag joint with this steering U-joint to kind of get rid of the slop. So that's another thing I've done to this truck. But anyway, back to the spark plugs. Okay, ran into my first problem. Got a crack in my boot here. I don't know if I put that in there taking it off or if that's been there. So I'm gonna have to see about getting another set. I mean, it'd probably be okay, but it's right where the metal is. It's gonna arc out of there if it gets near metal. I got all the plugs in there, but I left the wires off. I want to see if I can get a set of wires maybe by tomorrow, so I can just replace those as well. Okay, the scope of this endeavor has expanded beyond belief. I started out changing the plug wires, or plugs, which I did. I tore a boot, so I put these plug wires on. It's kind of a temporary measure until these are the ones I got right away. And come to find out I could have waited a little bit. But anyway, decided to go ahead and replace the motor mounts back here. The other one was still the stock one. It's not focusing on the right thing. And it was torn. This is a replacement, what's it called, energy suspension, polyurethane one. And it's a little melted. I'm going to show you when I get it out. Alright, so this is the one I had on the driver's side that I just took out. As you can see here, it looks like it got really hot. This is where it looks like it melted down a little bit. And over here it's kind of pulled away, and right here it's kind of pulled away, and I put the heat shield back on, but look at that heat shield right there. It's really hot. Not sure why it would have gotten that hot, but it did. So I did this to the other one already. I got this tape. It's like a high temperature radiance blocking tape. I'm going to put a couple strips around this way and then put a couple going this way, just to keep this, you know, from doing that to the new one I've got coming. So what I've done here is this is the heat shield that goes onto the motor mount. I had to modify it to fit this motor mount, like so. But it, as you saw, I showed you got really hot, so what I've done is this Cool Tape, DEI Cool Tape. It says it protects up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit radiant heat. That's it right there. And I wrapped a piece around here all the way across the bottom, and I got two pieces going around there to hold it on. I put another piece in the middle, I don't know. But that's just to keep this from heating my new motor mount up, because you can see this one's kind of even like sagged, like this at the bottom. Here you can see that bulge. It's so bulgy. See, that sagged down like it got hot, and then the weight kind of pulled it down. I'm not sure why it would have gotten so hot. I did have a problem with a bunch of missing raw fuel going through there, so that might have, I don't know, could have done something. But I got a new one coming, so hopefully we can avoid that by doing this. Alright, this video has expanded beyond belief. It's kind of dirty in there, isn't it? I got the new motor mount on the passenger side, on the passenger side here, and I got that heat shield covered in some tape. So that's the passenger side. Now let me show you what's going on the driver's side. Okay, this is the new driver's side one. As I just showed you, I got the passenger side on. This was what I put on the driver's side, and as you can see, it melted. It's got a little hot. I think had some problems with some misfires, and the catalytic converter got plugged up, and it probably got really hot. So I'm thinking that's when this happened. It's kind of like a gummy bear right there. You can even see it kind of drooped. It kind of drooped down. It's kind of bulging right here. So that's no good. Not good. So we got a new one. Brand new. And let me show you closer what I did here. This is the heat shield that sits right here. The exhaust manifold is right there. And as you can see on the old one, it's where it sat, and the heat still got to it. So I covered it in this tape, a couple layers of this tape, so it's going to sit right there. I got to finagle a little bit better to get it over this way. So this tape right here DEI cool tape. It says it's supposed to protect up to 2,000 degrees radiant heat, so hopefully that will keep that from happening to this one. So I'm gonna go finish watching Goon Squad and maybe drink a glass of tea. It's still early in the morning, so I'm gonna go do that, just kind of mentally build myself up to get started back on this. So we'll get back to that in the next clip. Alright, so I have to get the new motor mount up in here, and I'm going to try to do it the same way I did the other side. I'm going to put the two top bolts in and then try to slide that heat shield in over that. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I was able to get it up in there. I started the bolts on the top and just kind of fed that heat shield underneath the bolts, and then I reach down there under the bottom and get that bottom bolt. So I'm going to tighten those up, and then I can let the engine down and try to get that, look at that bolt through there. See, so I got the bolt in there, and I'm going to use a ratchet on the back and then an open end to hold that side. Okay, so I got the shroud back on. You have to, bolts down in there, right there, you got to get, and these upper ones right here. Now I'm looking at this, and I put these spark plug wires. They're kind of a cheap set. They're the ones I could get overnight from Amazon. They're 8mm. They're not bad. It bugs me, they're really long. See how they have to be folded up back here? And OCD in me, I don't know, either want to order another set or I'm thinking about shortening these. Really thinking about doing that. I think I might shorten them. Alright, I caved and I shortened the plug wires on both sides. I just couldn't let it go. They were way up in here and doing all kinds of funny things back there behind the brake booster and stuff, so I shortened them all up. I just cut them up here off the cap and crimped it back on. So I'm almost ready to start it. I have to wait for some transmission line, transmission cooler right here. These lines got acid on them. I think I cleaned it, but I want to be sure. So I ordered some new braided. It's kind of weird how that works. It's like, ooh, it's got a lag. It's like it's bendy. But anyway, got new lines coming. So I'm going to change those and run them a little bit different way, probably underneath, over to here, right here, I don't know, right there, to the, I can't really point with the, right there, to those lines, and then I'll be to put the battery tray back in, and then I'll be ready to start it. So I'll come back then. My battery leaked, and let's see what it did to my tray. So I got a new one, and it also ruined these headlight clips. Melted one of them to break it to get it off. So I got some new ones of those. And let me show you over here. Not sure if you can see down there. It's probably really dark, but got acid all over here, some of the wires, so I'd sprayed some baking soda and water to neutralize all that, sprayed a little paint around in there, and I'm redoing the transmission cooler lines here because it got on those a little bit, so I pulled those out here. You can see they're a little discolored from the situation, so I got some braided line coming, and I cleaned all this up best I could and painted it a little bit to cover up some of that corrosion that was on there. So I'm gonna put the new tray in. I got a new battery as well. Went with the Walmart Everstart. So I'm gonna put this sucker in, put the headlight back on, and put the battery in. So I got the lines today and yesterday, put them on today, kind of ran them down and underneath there, and then they come up through here, and they're attached right there. Got the battery in, got the tray in. Had these battery terminals a long time, just never used them. This one was corroded, so I replaced both of them. Started it up, and it runs fine. So now I'm going to put everything back together, headlight, grill, all that. So as you can hear, it's running. I got it all back together. So I'm going to end this video here. See you in the next one.